it's down. There's no middle. You don't want your gear to stay stuck in the middle. So what happens is, and I'll show you on the monitor, I hope you can see it. I don't know if you can, because this took me a while to figure out too. Okay, you can see the gear here is in the center position. If I went back to that other screen, which I will do for you, because it's very important, and I turn this gear on, it actually sets my, see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's not in the middle now. It actually sets it to a certain limit, so it's either on or off. Like, it's either full up or full down type of thing, and that's your gear. And if I switch my gear down, you'll see it actually moves, and it's actually moving. I flip my gear like this, it's actually moving my thrust vectoring fully up and fully down. You don't want that to happen, of course not, right? But if that was landing gear, that would actually work like it's supposed to. If it was a landing gear servo, like wide together, you could raise or lower your gear, boom, boom, like that. So, in order for it to find a midpoint and actually act like a flight control surface, you have to go into that input setup and inhibit it. You're disabling it. So if you go back to the monitor screen on here, it actually goes to the center. And now when I move it, if I turn, well, excuse me, I have to turn it on, but I'll explain that later. Now when I move it, it moves with my elevators, okay? Because that was the other program mix here. That was program number 4, okay? And I have it set to, well, it shows I have it set to 100%. Yes, I do. I have it set to 100%. So basically, when I move it, it moves at 100%, okay? And another little tidbit there that I learned too is when you mess with this mode switch, because that's what I set it to. I set it to this mode switch. Anything but full down actually turns off any of your dual rates. That's something you got to be careful with. It's just something with this radio. There could be a way to change it. I'm not sure. Like as I said in my other video, it sucks. The manual is really bad. It's an older radio, so there's not a whole lot of information on it. But anyways, it's just something I know that if this switch is in any position but down, you're, as you see I have this dual rate elevator down, right? And you can see the deflection of the stabs. If I push this up, see how it goes full? So you got to be careful of that. It's almost like a stunt mode. So you have to make sure that, hey, even if you're going to have dual rates down, you hit this on, you have to make sure you're ready to rock and roll and go crazy, because it totally ignores the dual rate settings. I don't know why it does that. It just does. Okay, so we're going to put it back down. So it's in like it's going to be in like a calmer mode now, you know. So could I turn on thrust vectoring in calm mode? Absolutely. I would just assign it to the down position instead of all the other positions. But thrust vectoring is you want it to move your airplane around. You don't want to like just barely move your plane. So all right. So back to the program mixes. The 5th program mix is the other thrust vector, which is rudder to aux 3. So see, if I turn that crazy switch on again, as I assigned it to the same switch, now I have turning of the rudder. Now it doesn't have, I didn't have rudder at full deflection because I actually changed it on the curve here. You can actually set to what curve you want. So you can actually mess with the curves all day, no problem. That's not a big deal. And that actually is it's actually smarter than going 100%, because that way you can kind of like gauge what you want it to do. But I know how elevator acts, and I know what this plane is capable of doing and what it's not doing. So I'm gonna risk it. If something goes wrong, if I pull up and I've got my dual rates set, I'm like, hey, I can just kick that switch back down, and it totally shuts off thrust vectoring. I'm back to where I know it's gonna fly good. I know this flying style. I've tried it. It works awesome. So I can go from super crazy to not so crazy just instantly. So with that said, there's one more setting that I really think is really cool, and I discovered it kind of by accident. I knew about it, but what I did not know is that you could utilize it with the Delta setup. So the Delta setup, I thought it shut off these. Like, remember how I was telling you earlier, if you mess with Delta, the Delta setup here, it kills your flaperons. because you can't access your flaperons menu, which I didn't show you here, but there's a flaperons menu here that only appears when you have flaperons on. Well, you can't have flaperons set up with the Delta setup. Actually, no, I did show that to you. Let me just go back here. When we went to the wing in the beginning, if you remember, see there's flaperon, VTEL, and Delta. Remember, that's when I say menu. It's not a menu. It's if you turn the flaperons on, you cannot have Delta on. So I totally ignored this other setting that I'm going to show you, because I assumed that, hey, if you're not having these flaperons on with Delta, then why the heck discover it? Well, I found this little mix here. If you go to, I gotta see if I can find it again. It's under the it's under the mode settings, and if you go to where it says ELEAL, that means elevator and aileron, right? You click on that, and then you have an elevator mix and an aileron mix. I was like, okay, I was just screwing around and looking at it. Well, I clicked on that, and you can actually mix your elevator with your flap, and you can set a mix switch. Well, my mix switch on here is right here. So if I turn this on, I've got negative 100% up, negative 100% down. Now negative, it's just a direction. Don't worry about actually what it's doing. It's just telling the radio that I want to go 100% up and 100% down with my elevator. And remember, I told you with the flap or AUX1, I have those already mixed on my first mix. If you remember, I mixed this guy, the flap, to this AUX2. So with this setting, elevator to flap, guess what happens? Holy crap, it moves with my elevator. I was tickled pink when I saw that. And I was like, wow, so basically now with all my mixes on, all my program mixes on, I can have everything on. I can have, this is everything turned on, by the way. I got my elevators mixed with my flaps. I got my ailerons mixed with my ailerons. And I also have my thrust vectoring on. And I have dual rates down, but remember I said if thrust vectoring's on, those dual rates don't mean crap. So in this mode right now, it is going to fly insanely. And I will show you why. Everything is at 100%. See, full deflection, wing. And of course, it's only 50% for the ailerons, because that's what I set to that mix. I could always put it at 100% to get even crazier, but I don't know why you would, but we'll see. We'll see what this does first, guys. And then I also have thrust vectoring, right? So I got thrust vectoring. I mean, look at that. Look at all those surfaces moving up. You got 5 surfaces in the pitch up direction or pitch down direction. That is serious movement, guys. And if you're in a high alpha maneuver, you know the thrust is going to be kicking out of here at pretty high speeds. So you're going to have a lot of tail movement when you do that. And when you're going at slow speeds, you know, these won't affect as much, because when you're going slow like that, you need a lot of throw. A lot of people say, well, holy crap, why would you want that? Well, if you're going at high speeds, you're not going to have these things. There's no way you're going to be doing this. I mean, if you did do this at high speed, your plane is basically just going to stop in midair, and you know, it'll look really cool. It'll be a nice, cool trick. But holy crap, you want to shut all this stuff off when you're flying. Well, except for, you know, leave your dual rates down. You want to shut everything down, cool everything down, and just fly like this if you're going high speed. Okay, that's pretty much everything. I know I didn't describe exactly how everything's set up as far as you know, where I plugged everything in. Okay, I just explained it visually. You're gonna have to do a trial and error if you have the same setup, you know, for your plane without thrust vectoring or with thrust vectoring. Basically, it's not too hard. It's a lot of trial and error. The most difficult part was the damn radio. So learn your radios. Find, you know, dig into them. This is an 8-channel radio, so there's a lot going on there. It's helicopter and aircraft, you know, capable. I was more savvy in the helicopter field with that radio, and I just only started recently really messing with the aircraft stuff, which is pretty cool. Because everybody knows for an aircraft to fly, you really only need 3 channels just to get your regular turning and burning going on. With a helicopter, you need a minimum like 5 to 6 channels. So it frees up a lot of channels to do a lot of cool and neat things when you bring a helicopter radio to the aircraft side. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, it was longer than I wanted to be. I'm sorry for that. Comment below. I'm going to share the other video or refer you to the other video so you can watch how nice this thing flies once I get it back up in the air and start messing with those mixes I just showed you. Thanks a lot. Bye.